I was actually halfway through my video, and the race secretary for Scioto called. Now you would have thought the way that it was raining like that, and this is light rain compared to how bad it was. It was thunder and lightning, and I mean, for the last 8 minutes of this drive, I was doing 20 miles an hour on the highway, and like the guy in front of me's got his four-ways on, the people behind me four-ways on, so they don't need mine on. But that isn't the rain that fell at Scioto. It rained for like 8 minutes, and I don't really know why the track got so bad. So I guess there's a lot going on. So I'll start with that. I was sitting in the driver's room after race. The third race was on the track. Fourth race was on the track. I had to warm up Aunt Lily after race 4. We were just jogging her anyway. About a minute to post, it started to rain. And I'm like, holy sheet lightning. Where did the rain come from? So the vet was there. I said, "Do you have your phone?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Can you look up on your weather app?" I don't know why, but I didn't know that there was supposed to rain. She was supposed to rain at 10 o'clock at night, 9:45, but it wasn't supposed to rain till then. I said, "Yeah." That guy near got cleaned out. My goodness. Where the hell is this guy from? Beirut? Yeah, that guy almost. What a meathead. Listen, guy from Georgia. Both truckers not very happy at that fellow right up there. He's got to get out of the fast. Anyway, whatever. So, come on, man, get out of the way. I don't understand it. They don't have rain in Georgia? Anyway, it was pouring rain, so it ruined the whole race, you know, and I mean, just an absolute torrential downpour. And I didn't realize it, but I went out to jog. It stopped raining right after the race. It literally rained hard for 8 minutes. Now, I've been driving for 35 minutes, and it poured the entire way from when I get on the 71 till right here. It poured. But it didn't get like that in Scioto. It literally was 8 minutes. So I get off the track from jogging, and I'm like, wow, the track is really soaked, like soupy. They go out and they started putting sand down, like putting material on the track and trying to screen it, dry it out a little bit, which I didn't really know if that was a good idea anyway, because there was rain coming, literally rain coming. It was a surprise that it rained at 7 o'clock, but there was no surprise. I gotta get around this lunatic. What are you doing? Those are the people you see with the ambulance on the side of the road when it's raining. They've done something stupid. This is a 70. That person behind me is doing 51 miles an hour on a 70. Maybe 45. Anyway, it was going to rain at 10 o'clock. Guaranteed going to rain. And pour. Like, that's when the hard rain was supposed to come. So you're adding all this material to the track. It's going to rain again. I just wanted race 7 to be over so I could go home. 10 minutes goes by, 15 minutes goes by, they're screening it. I'm like, are we going to race? The guy beside me says, that's not even the worst of it. He said, there's a rule about LASIX here. You have 90 minutes past LASIX time to run the race off, or you got to cancel. I said, oh, really? I didn't know that. He goes, yeah. And we're an hour and 21 minutes right now. So they canceled. I don't know whether it was because of the track or because of the LASIX rule. I have no idea. But they canceled. So I'm thinking they're just going to split the money up. No. Made it much worse. For me, they moved the race to Saturday before the races. Today is Thursday, which is kind of unfair for people that are shipping in. Now, I said, you guys do whatever you think is best. I'm not going to rock the boat. But the more I think about it, man, you're asking our Philly to come back down 48 hours in the heat, warm up again, and race. I don't like the thought of that for 2 reasons. 1, for her. 2, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be at the Meadows. That's just where I'm going to be. Now, I suppose Ronnie ran or somebody, I don't know who wasn't in the race. I'll check. They could drive the horse. And then I said, well, hold on a second. You're going to race it on Saturday. The next Sire Stakes is on Thursday. You can't do that. He said, no, we're going to move that one till Saturday the 17th. Can't do it next week because the Northfield has the Milstein. We don't want to trample on the Milstein. We're going to do it on the 17th. I said, well, all the horses in the Milstein are in the hemp. Our horse is in the hemp. And not only that, that's the night of the Gold Cup and Saucer. I said, well, you know what? You guys do what you got to do. I know it's hard to skip. I just assumed. So I asked him, I said, what? I thought we just split all the money. 55,000 divided by every horse in the race. He goes, no, it's not in the rules to do that. That's a stake race, I guess. You can do that when there's no points involved, but not the Ohio Breeders' Race. So I'm a little frustrated. No, I'm a lot frustrated, I guess. So apparently the next 2 races for Aunt Lily, I'm not going to be able to drive her, which maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. And Freedom Hill now has to wait 2 weeks to race. No, she has to wait 16 days to race. So that's a little, and I guess that's the other news. I'm still a little torn on it. Jason said, well, she was just second in 55. Probably should race her in Sire Stakes now. I said, it's a good point. I was just thinking that. Why don't we just wait to see how the next 2 divisions look? Didn't get a chance to do that either. I don't know. A lot to think about when it comes to these fillies. I just assumed the easy choice would be Freedom Hill into the Buckeye. What's the point of having 2 in the Sire Stakes when we could utilize, because when you look at it, unless you're finishing first and second, which right now, we're in the hunt. Now, Freedom Hill went a hell of a mile tonight, so she's in the hunt. Let's say she's top 5. Let's say they're both top 9. Finals are in Northfield. Let's say they're both top 8. Now you have 2 fillies racing for 300, where you could have one racing for 300 and one racing for 100, and likely either one of those fillies would be dominant in the Buckeye division. So you could race in the Buckeye and the Consolation. That was the plan with Freedom Hill. And then she goes out and gets beaten 55. I don't think Aunt Lily can trot 55 right now. Maybe she could have tonight. I don't know. So now I got a lot of thinking to do. Better do it quick, because they probably draw for Tuesday tomorrow. And that's the other thing. Now they can't do it. The only horse that could have won in that Buckeye is Freedom Hill. Because now Aunt Lily was going to win potentially could have won in the Buckeye. Can't do that. She got a race on Saturday, back Tuesday. Ah, what a mess. What a mess. Anyway, let's go through the day. Let's do a little post-mortem. Freedom Hill ruined a particularly horrible day by racing good tonight. We had a little drink, just a little hope. Part of me wishes Lonely Lakewood was just 6, so we had nothing optimistic to talk about today. And then Freedom Hill went out and raced her butt off again. Just raced her ass off and got beat just a whisker at the wire. Now, Chris had me measured and had a great trip. I did not. First over into the second favorite. I believe, yes, second favorite. So let's go through the whole day. High hopes. Got the thumps today. Pull up. I said, I don't know what just happened. I was so worried that she bled or it was full of mucus. I said, let's start. Scope her first. And she was blowing her head off. I said, depending on how she scopes, and first and foremost, regardless, can you head to that, listen to her heart, see if she got the thumps. Now, the thumps is not AFib. Theoretically, it's an electrolyte imbalance, and it's still a pretty serious thing, but it happens in the heat. And she was just pumping really hard after the race. I thought she was full of mucus, probably had blood. I'm like, oh my God, what a mess this is going to be. And got a terrible trip, but, everybody jammed up. I could have blasted out of there, got a great trip, but I was just so careful with her. I wanted her to continue to race good. I'm thinking, it's a maiden trot. There's going to be a calamity in there somewhere. I'm going to drop in the 4-hole. And Ronnie was trying to get me in the 4 or 5-hole, and then this front end just kind of came to a halt coming out of the turn. And all of a sudden, I was left in no man's land. Now I have to continue on. Well, it didn't matter. The way she raced, the way she walked, mechanically, she trotted good. Never offered to make a break. Now, granted, she was going so slow in the last 3/8, she couldn't make a break if she wanted to. She didn't. But it was just a very disappointing race for her. And I wasn't upset with her. She did what she could. I'm going to have to draw that blood and see if anything jumps off the page. You know, for a healthy, athletic filly, why would she get the thumps? Why? She drinks lots. She looks good. She looks very healthy. So what happened today? We'll try and get to the bottom of that. My only takeaway is she never offered to run. Was I too cautious? No, it didn't matter. She had thumps. It didn't matter. We'll look at her blood. Maybe her potassium's super low. Maybe her electrolytes are screwed up. Who knows? I don't think anything that took place with her can't be fixed and remedied very, very quickly. But I was happy with her gait. Her attitude is getting better too. I'd like to get those bell boots off her a couple of times, scoring down, and in the warm-up she grabbed them. She wears 2 pairs of bell boots. I told you, everything about her is very eerily similar to Gypsy Hill. I hope she ends up being as fast as Gypsy Hill. Qualified without hobbles on. He raced without them last year. Got that same flat gait, very close to their knees, yet neither one of them actually touched them. But you'd swear watching them trot a mile at 2:20, gonna need knee boots. They don't quite get there though. Hit up high on their left jack. Both of them hit in the exact same spot. I'd like to get her feeling good, looking good, and working appropriately because she is a likable horse now. On the track, I do like her. I like her gait. I think she has lots to offer. And yes, you never want to see a mile like today from a 2-year-old trotting filly, but I do want to get to the bottom of what the hell I just saw. Yes, we know what happened. Okay, that was the effect. What is the cause? What took place to cause her to do that today? And that will be found. Serious Dragon. I said to Tim, coming off the car, he felt a little lethargic. Now, I did score him down the last 2 weeks, but it was so hot, and he's racing so good, I just couldn't do that. Like, it was like 33 Celsius. It was like 30, 66, and 32. So the better part of 90. In fact, as I was leaving the parking lot, it said 93 degrees Fahrenheit on my car. I remember now, I was talking to Amy. That's what it said. So Serious Dragon went into the first turn, got out of gear. Not different. Very eerily similar of what he did the first day here. Only I warmed him up hard. I had him right on his toes and coming right through his bridle when they said go. Whereas today, it was a little more subdued. He didn't really feel like he wanted to get out of there. It wasn't good. Last week, he just charged off the car. Today, it was like I had to pick at him to get out of there. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's not good, but I can't, time out. I can't do that. Already come off the car. I still want to get him in a position to do well, even though I know 20 steps off the car. He's not good today. I knew it long before we got to the turn. There's nothing I can do about it. Try to get him a good trip. There's no spots to the left of me. Hunter's looking over his shoulder. He just wants to let one of us go. He wants Aaron to retreat, which he did, and he was going to let me go. But as I advanced, Serious Dragon, they charged him with a break. He didn't break, but he got out of gear. He was rough gated for 8 strides. This wasn't a momentary lapse in gait. This was stretched out over multiple pylons. And I'm out. Now you're out. There's no buddies here. Your horse is rough today? Good. Stay right there. No one's giving you any holes. No one's letting the rough horse in front of them. So we're out. I just went with one filly that got the thumps and was beat 12 million miles. Now I'm parked with the favorite. Second or third favorite. Last. Badly. Now I'm parked with the favorite. About to be last. Badly. All you can do is just sit out there and take your medicine. That's it. Went under the wire. I said to Tim, take that Murphy again. We're going to remove that Murphy from the outside, put a light gating pole on the left. And he wasn't good this week, so we'll draw his blood. But it was also his 4th week in a row, and I raced him hard his first 3 starts. Get the vet to look at him, run some fluids into him, work on his feet, give him next week off. Don't enter him next week. There, fixed. I didn't find him acutely lame anywhere. I didn't find him that much different than he was the 3 weeks before. Just a little bit of a power outage. Could have been a million things. Maybe it just was that I didn't have him on his toes saying go. I will next time. Maybe something was bothering him. There's nothing, like I said. There didn't appear to be any soreness or as I said, lameness anywhere that I could see. It just wasn't good. Having a great day. Get in the car. I said, just one of these days. Dave Blown. He said, well, we'll try and get you. I forget, he said something about the filly. I said, she'll probably run under my breath. And she did. Allie in the Clouds run coming off the car. She's going back to Northfield. She's going right in and out, maiden claimer. And I know I'm going to have a lot of people saying, Anthony, but she's so well bred. We paid all that money for her. She's such a nice filly. No. I told you we'll keep the mares that try hard. Those are the ones that we're going to keep in the stable. Not the ones that are looking for ways out. Allie's going to go down a different path now. She's going to do a little work. I feel bad. That's partly my fault. I took her here to have an eye on her, and I haven't seen her since she's been here. Jason said she trained good, but that was at Northfield. Different surface, different track, another driver that doesn't know her. I guarantee you one thing. She gets in Wednesday, because that's when she's entered. Wednesday. I'll be there to go with her. That's a guarantee. I was very angry over the whole situation. Nobody to blame. Tim said to Philly a couple of days, how's it his fault? Dave Plone's never seen her in his life. How's it his fault? It's my fault. I should have been on top of things and said, hey, just to make sure, can you put Hallie in the Clouds in the middle portion of the program at the Meadows? Hey, just to make sure, can you put Aunt Lily and Freedom Hill in the latter portion of the middle of the program? Just so I know there's no screw-ups. But I didn't do that. I dropped the ball. I just let the chips fall where they may. And like an idiot, when you do things unprepared, that's what happens. I could have made 2 very easy phone calls and all would have been forgiven. No problem. I would have drove Hallie, and that's not to say she wouldn't have done this today. But I would have more information than I have for you right now. All I can lean on is the fact that Jason said she trained great last week and that she made a break today. That's it. She's going back to Northfield. She will race at Northfield her next start. She will be in the maiden claim. And there will be no, but Anthony, she's so well bred and she's such a nice filly. Yeah, she's a nice filly. She's going to have to prove it to us. She's got some work to do. Lonely Lakewood ruined our horrible day by finishing 5th and getting a check. Does not belong in that class. And I put him in that class because they said he trots 55 and looks good today. Maybe we'll put him in the Stallion Series next week. He's not going in any Stallion Series next week. He's going back to Northfield to race the non-winners of 1 claimer where he was to begin with. Again, racing horses over their head where they don't belong. This is the tone of the voice you get. It's my fault. Go behind the gate at 8-1, you don't belong, you finish 5th. Whose fault is it? Not the horses, it's not Hunter's, it's not Tim's, it's mine. That won't happen again. He's going back to where he was going to race good. I'm not really angry because I just fall back on what I had just told you. Bad luck with high hopes. That happens. We know it can happen now, so it won't ever happen again. We have to be on the lookout for that. Make sure she has electrolytes. Make sure that we have her on potassium, because those are the 2 biggest things that cause this. And it's easily fixable and treatable and manageable. And that's nobody's fault. Nobody would ever believe that a 2-year-old would do that, regardless if it's 33 degrees or otherwise. But she can, she has, and she will again if we don't take care of it. So we will. Serious Dragon, bad race, it happens. Pitch. There's nothing you can do about it. Turn the page. There's nothing I can say. Hey, Tim, he needed shot. No, he didn't. Hey, Tim, he was off here or there. No, he wasn't. He just wasn't great today. And I got to not take it for granted. Next time he goes behind the gate, on his toes. It's on me. Hallie in the Clouds, don't do that again. She's over here for a reason. I was supposed to be going with her and I didn't. That won't happen again. Lonely Lakewood, that's on me also. Now I'll give myself a reprieve. I was simply trying to give the horse, he did not get in at Northfield, and I was trying to give the horse an opportunity to race his way back into the Stallion Series next week. That's it. He's not good enough. He's good enough to race at Northfield, the class he was going to win the other day. That's where he's going. Then we get down here, Freedom Hill. I'd said to the boys, geez, we've been letting the hobbles out, the trotting hobbles out and out and out. You know, you fall into that rut, and I try to tell everybody all the time, they're constantly changing, right? All these horses. And you want them to change for the good. Sometimes they change for the bad. You saw it with I Don't Play Nice. He changed for the worse the other day. Growing up, Little Green, you know, probably going through a growth spurt, didn't race good. Turn him out in the field. The alternative is when you got a horse with a bad attitude like LT Troubadour. He raced bad the other day. Bye-bye. It's too late in the game. Cut from the team. Sold him. The Priest, qualified poorly. Blood come back good. Scope clean. Bye-bye. We have a great group of horses, and we want to keep it that way. The ones that don't want to race, they can go not want to race somewhere else. But the ones that want to come forward, like Freedom Hill, I told Jason when I pulled up the other day, I said, her hobbles feel like they can go out quite a bit. I left them 6 holes tonight in the post parade. Just let her jog along until they felt like they just grabbed her a little bit where she just needed them because she's used to them. Let them out quite a bit. Went out of there. I kind of didn't want to get away. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't push through enough. I would have to use her really hard to stay in the middle, force Dan to take back. But knowing Dan, he probably wouldn't have taken back. I wouldn't have. I can tell you that. So rather than get yourself in a fight you don't want to be in, with a horse you don't want to be in a fight with, there's no point in me expending any energy to try and force the 8 horse to do something when on paper the 8 horse wasn't a factor. So just don't put yourself in a dumb position. So I just dropped her in the 3 hole, knowing that Brett was going to remove. Just the way it was going to be. But at this point, keep in mind, we have a filly that's trotted in 58 twice. She's been beaten both times in the Sire Stakes. I just want her to race good. And this is also a filly we almost didn't enter in this race. And that was going, at the time, was going to be entered Tuesday in the Buckeye at Urbana. That was the plan. I could feel, I know who's behind me, Chris Page and Ronnie Gillespie. The problem is, the one in front of me, I don't want to follow any longer. I know I'm going to be first over, but we're going pretty good fractions. The half pops up 57 seconds. We're not going much further. Like Brett's horse, a nice horse, but the horse in the 2 hole's got to be done. I look up, I go to start out of the hole, and Dan's fishing for the earplugs, tapping his horse to the tail. He's done. Now here's where it gets really cool, really interesting, and it surprised the hell out of me. I moved Freedom Hill to the outside. She hit a gear I've never seen before. She went into attack mode. Not only did she come to, but blew right by the second favorite on the board. I just quick look over my shoulder. I know it's Ronnie Gillespie there, but Chris Page is already in gear. If she was just a little bit green, clearing to the front. If she clears to the front mercilessly and takes off, Chris can't catch me. But she just hesitated a bit, and he ran me down. And to be fair, he might have caught me. He's got the earplugs in, sitting there like a wooden soldier going under the wire. Never moved a muscle. Nice filly. I told you guys last time, that's a beautiful horse. Rose Run, whatever the hell her name is. Jogged. We were second. She raced great. Best race of her life. Showed me something I actually wasn't sure she had in her. That 5th gear, that's a 2-year-old trot filly that was just second in 55. Those are hard to come by. Man, she raced good. Then the rain came. They canceled the races. Now they screwed up all the dates, moved them all around. Aunt Lily's going to have to come back down here Saturday with Jason. I'm sure I'm going to get a phone call from him in a moment. She's going to have to come back down here. Ronnie or somebody will drive. Ronnie can drive her. He already drove her once. I don't know if he had to drive in there or not. He can drive her. And then George of the Jungle. Trying to figure out what the hell happened there. That was pitiful. It looked terrible. And I know I'm getting emails from people. Can you take George over to Northfield? No, I can't right now because we're too full of horses. We're too full of classes we already have. George of the Jungle's class, we have like 5 horses for that class between Northfield and the Meadows. Can't get them raced right now. So we're going to do what we always do. I don't believe he raced good. Show me why. How'd he scope? What's his blood look like? What's going on with George? Now, I'm going to be home next week a little bit. You guys know my plan. I laid it out to you. Very easy. Tomorrow I'm at the Meadows. Right after the Meadows, I'm going home to watch Ollie play baseball Saturday morning. Right after the game, I'm going back to the Meadows. I'm going to race 10 horses Saturday night, or 9, 10 horses, whatever the hell it is. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive back to Brunswick. I'm going to wake up Sunday morning. I'm going to drive to Ludington, Michigan. That's right, it's official. I'm going. Ludington, Michigan with my family. We're going to hang out all Saturday because apparently that's a very beautiful town. The Dunes. Silver Lake Dunes or something like that. We're going to go hang out there. Ronnie Wren and his wife their family have a cottage in that town or not far from that town. So he knows the area very well. I just got a text from Dominic, said George of the Jungle, 3 out of 5 for mucus. Yeah, well, he raced like he had tuberculosis, so we're still going to have to get some blood drawn tomorrow. Going to race Mountaineer Prince on Monday. I'm going to watch Chicago Hall race Monday night. I'm going to drive back to Brunswick. We're going to wake up Tuesday morning, check in at Northfield, see if we need anything trained. I'm going to drive back to Ontario. Back to Ontario on Tuesday. Going to watch Ollie play baseball on Tuesday, and then come back. Lots going on, probably all Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night. So my next hard card, obviously Friday, Saturday I'm busy. Monday, it'll all be about Mountaineer Prince and getting that squared away Monday. That took a lot of moving. I had to move a lot of stuff around to get that done. But as I said, no stone unturned when it comes to our horses. If I can be there, I'll be there. There's your proof. So that's the plan for the next few days. Obviously a horrible day if you just take Freedom Hill out and say Freedom Hill raced great today, and then there was everyone else. They all raced terrible. One with the thumps, one made a break, two made a break. Serious Dragon, I don't know how they charged him with a break. He didn't really make a break. 2 with a break. Lonely Lakewood, outmatched. Aunt Lily canceled. George of the Jungle raced terrible. But Freedom Hill raced great. So, with that, I'm going to let you go now. 28 minutes of talking about the rain and 18-wheelers beeping at people from Georgia. But I am looking forward to tomorrow. Manhattan Money, Rose Run, AJ and Arrowhead, Hanover in the stakes. 3-point blue chip. Stay close racing the overnights. They got shots. Very excited about the rest of our horses all throughout the weekend. And I haven't talked about it enough. Good luck to all my partners with Tactical Mounds, making her second start from an outside post on a Hambletonian day. She may be 6-1, but she's already proven she can win from out there. She did it 1 year ago. So good luck to everybody tomorrow and the rest of the weekend. My apologies about today, but I think I've unpacked it pretty well from you. A couple of unfortunate instances with Serious Dragon, easily fixed. Nothing serious there. High hopes. Again, we can fix that, mitigate that. The takeaway is, I guess, from my standpoint, mechanically she was good. Hallie in the Clouds, that was a huge screw up on my part, and I owe everybody an apology. That will be rectified very, very soon. She's going back tomorrow to Northfield Park, and she will be entered and hopefully raced next Wednesday. Then we'll see what's what. Lonely Lakewood, not good enough to do in there. Now we know. Freedom Hill was awesome. George the Jungle wasn't. Have a wonderful night.